Hey up guys! So now that we're nearing the end of 2021, it's time for me to give you a video on my top 10 favorite TV shows of 2021. I haven't seen all the TV that I wanted to this past year, and that's my only rule for qualifying is I have to have watched the TV series in order for it to make the list. But as always guys, it's just one bloke's opinion. I would love to hear your top 10 TV shows of 2021. What are some of your must-watch TV recommendations for me? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also help the channel by hitting that thumbs up button, and if you haven't done so already, click subscribe. Alright, let's get started. Coming in at number 10, we have the final season of Pose. That's Pose Season 3. Live, work, pose! This is actually a late entry to my list because then I discovered Pose Season 3 was on BBC iPlayer just a few days ago, so we binged all of it in the space of a week, and while it's not a flawless season, it's still a very effective one. One that captured the spirit of ballroom so beautifully. It's fierce, funny, and of course, utterly heartbreaking at times. I just want to take a moment to appreciate the fact that a show like Pose even exists, which features real life, black, gay, trans actors. It's a cast that represents the minorities, that's telling their stories, who have often been, pushed to the sides. The fact that a show like this even exists and is celebrating so many minorities it's a gift. This show broke new grounds. It gave us legendary characters like Blanca, Pray Tell, Angel, and Elektra, and it discussed so many important issues in the LGBTQ+ community. It's tens across the board for this series. At number 9, we have the first season of Loki. The God of Mischief, Loki, played marvelously by Tom Hiddleston, gets his own TV series, and just think of it as Doctor Who, but with a budget. We've got our charismatic lead, Tom Hiddleston, who is just so much fun to watch in this, as well as wonderful new characters like Mobius, played by Owen Wilson, doing his Owen Wilson thing, but it totally works for this TV show. I just found this series to be rip-roaring fun. I couldn't wait to see the next episode each subsequent week. At number 8, we have 9 Perfect Strangers. This star-studded drama sees, you guessed it, 9 strangers come to this rehab type facility, which is led by this weird lady played by Nicole Kidman, and they all essentially learn to process their baggage, their problems, their grief, their pain. And I don't know, there's something about this film that I just found really intoxicating, and it is literally watching these people getting high on hallucinogens for 8 episodes, but it's really well executed, this series. It might as well be a film because of how much star power is in it, and it does have some amazing performances in it. Granted, Nicole Kidman's accent isn't her best, but there's phenomenal turns from Melissa McCarthy, Michael Shannon, Bobby Cannavale, Tamara Weaving. That's just to name a few. It's just nice to see people like Melissa McCarthy give serious dramatic performances. This is one of her best performances ever. Legit. It's darkly funny, it's well paced, and it has this peculiar tone that's not easy to pull off, but somehow accomplishes it. If you want to watch it, it's on Hulu or Amazon Prime Video. Next up at number 7, we have Drag Race UK Season 2. We actually had 2 seasons of Drag Race UK to pick from this year, but there was something very special about Drag Race UK Season 2. I think it's because it arrived in January in the UK when we were still in Tier 4, which was essentially a lockdown. So it was a great source of comfort during those periods where we're just isolating in our homes. And it was just, I don't know, it was campy, silly, escapist fun. It gave us so many wonderful, iconic moments, so many queens who have become icons in their own right. Lawrence Chaney, Bimini Bambulash, Tace, Tia Coffee, these are all legends now. And we also got the United King dolls with Bing Bang Bong, sing, sang, song, ding dang dong. UK Hun, just when you thought you got it out of your head. Granted, the Snatch Game wasn't iconic as the first season, but we did get Bimini with her, the nipples are the eyes of the face. And thanks to Taze, it's given us an expression which has seeped its way into the public vernacular now.
The cheek, the nerve, the gall, the audacity, and the gumption.
Gumption. Yeah, that is just... I love this season so much. It's my favorite of the Drag Race UK editions so far, and it's one of the best in Drag Race history. To quote Bimini, not a joke, just a fact. At number 6, we have Only Murders in the Building Season 1. This charming little comedy about 3 neighbors in a building who all share a passion for real-life crime mysteries, all coming together to do a podcast so they can solve a murder which occurred in their own building, was just a whole lot of fun. It's got a perfect triptych of leading characters. Surprisingly, Selena Gomez completely holds her own against comedy legends Steve Martin and Martin Short in this. She is phenomenal in this. Also, it's so nice to see Steve Martin in something again. He hasn't been on TV or film in a good while. This season was very well paced, it's very well written, it was very intriguing, it kept you guessing. It was also the right amount of meta. It was self-aware without being too annoying, you know, wink wink nudge nudge. And I cannot wait to watch season 2. Okay, next up at number 5 we have Schmigadoon, the best TV series that barely anybody watched this year. It's on Apple TV Plus. It's an original musical comedy series about a couple played by Keegan-Michael Key and Cecily Strong who wind up in this town called Schmigadoon, which they can't escape. And get this, the town is essentially like living in a musical. This is a show which fans of Glee, 30 Rock, or Crazy Ex-Girlfriend will love. It's got a great supporting cast, which features Jane Krakowski, Kristen Chenoweth, Alan Cumming, Ariana DeBose. It features completely original songs, which are catchy and fun. It's laugh out loud funny. If you haven't seen it, get on it. Okay, coming in at number 4, we have the first of Disney Plus's foray into Marvel Cinematic Universe TV shows, and that is WandaVision. It was the first one, and it's still the best one. I have reviewed WandaVision on the channel if you want my full thoughts on the series. I'll pop a link up here for you to check out. It's got a genius concept for a show. A grief-stricken Wanda who's had to deal with so much pain, loss, and tragedy finds a coping mechanism by creating a fictionalized TV sitcom world for her and Vision to live in. It's essentially a TV show which shows the 5 stages of grief, but in a superhero setting. Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Bettany, and Kathryn Hahn do amazing work in this, absolutely brilliant acting. The ending of the series didn't quite hit the bullseye. It did feel a little bit cookie cutter to me, but overall as a show and a concept and how emotionally moving it was, WandaVision was a hit. Okay, coming in at number 3, we have Succession Season 3, aka the godfather of modern TV. Season 3 gave us something very different to the previous 2 seasons of Succession, but arguably it might be the finest bit of storytelling we've seen so far, especially in the development of certain characters. It's another season of the Roy family getting up to no good. It's a family drama, but on such a super rich scale, and it has the inner power dynamics and scheming and plotting of like Game of Thrones. The cast in this series is stellar. Everybody in this is amazing. They all deserve Emmys. The writing is phenomenal. It's constantly funny, very biting, but also very easy to digest. Honestly, TV doesn't get much better than Succession. Give it a go. Coming in at number 2, we have Russell T Davies' gay drama It's a Sin, which I have discussed on the channel. I'll pop a link up here. This one-off limited series about a group of gay friends living in London during the late 80s and 90s during the time of the AIDS pandemic was a lot of fun, but also very devastating. As a gay man, this TV series spoke to me on so many different levels. I loved how that even though this was a show about a very difficult time in gay history, that the show wasn't afraid to have fun. It really was a lot of fun watching this show. The amount of hedonism and sex in the show, as well as just wonderful characters that you fell in love with and got very attached to, which made all the loss and death that came later just even more brutal to watch. The soundtrack to this TV show absolutely slapped. The performances were great from the entire cast, but I'm also just so happy that a show like It's a Sin exists for today's queer youth to consume, because I would have loved to have had a show like this when I was a kid to help me, you know, going through my adolescence and my sexual journey. It was just a very magical bit of TV. I saw a lot of myself in it. I related to a lot of the characters in it, and I'm sure a lot of today's queer youth will see themselves represented in the show, even though it's set in the 80s and 90s. It's a lot of the struggles of that time are similar to the struggles of now. I think that's great. I think it's great that gay stories are being told, and told so beautifully, and with so much fun and so much honesty. And yes, yeah, It's a Sin. If you haven't seen it, it really is just an incredible piece of TV. Give it a watch, alright? And coming in at number 1, my favorite TV show of 2021 is Mayor of Easttown. This series, in a word, perfection. This TV series is a gripping mystery thriller about a girl who winds up dead and the detective who's called Mare, played by Kate Winslet, who tries to solve what happened to her. Kate Winslet is a tour de force in this. It's no wonder she won the Emmy, and she's backed up by an amazing supporting cast, which includes Gene Smart, Julianne Nicholson, Guy Pearce, and of course, Evan Peters. It's just brutal storytelling with real, flawed, texturized characters. Each episode left me wanting more, the drama hit hard, the writing was layered, actions had consequences, it was genuinely thrilling. It kept me guessing all the way to the very end, and it ended perfectly. God, I hope they don't make a season 2, because where they left it was perfection. Like, just be happy with that. We don't need to tell any more story that doesn't need to be told. It's TV at its finest, and that's why it gets my #1 spot of my top 10 favorite TV shows of 2021. But as always, guys, it's just one bloke's opinion. I'd love to hear your favorite TV shows of 2021. Whatever your recommendations are, let me know in the comment section down below. Did you agree with mine? Did you disagree? I really want to hear from you. Remember to hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Don't forget to click subscribe, and if you want to follow me on any of my socials, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, it's all in that video description down below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. For more things related to movies, TV, the Oscars, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Carefield, and I'll see you in 2022.